Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to day 12 of our daily challenge for June, which is entitled Joy of June. And today I'm going to paint some pot plants. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm just getting myself ready here. And I'm going to use a double spread again in my little paint on sketchbook, but any sketchbook obviously will do. And I'm just going to use whatever paint is lying here on my palette. And I'm going to paint pots first. So we'll just do some interesting shapes, or not interesting shapes. But I'm going to make some of them quite dark so that they can be doodled on top of. And I'm absolutely not paying any attention to accuracy or anything. This is just for fun. Okay, so I'm going to put a row of pots across the front here, and then we're going to enlarge that with some plants going up high into the background there. Now, this is our daily challenge support video, which I'm doing, and normally this comes up every day. I put it up for members either of Patreon or of the YouTube membership. But once a week this month we've decided to once a week for the month, and that's today, we are going to put it up for everyone to see. So this is public today, and yeah, I hope you like it. And I hope you consider joining either Patreon. Starts at, I think it's about $4 a month, which isn't even the cost of one cappuccino, according to what I've been reading lately about the cost of living in California. Yeah, did you know that in America, in many places, a cappuccino will cost you 5 times as much as it would cost you if you were living in Portugal? That's very interesting, isn't it? But of course, it's no reason to go and live in Portugal. It has many other disadvantages. You pay for what you get. And I was watching, I mean, I've spent quite a lot of time in Spain, and I loved it. I like Spain. Spain's wonderful, and it's done a lot to improve things like the corruption and the stealing of electricity and a lot of other things that go on down there. I'm sure they go on everywhere. But yeah, so Spain has kind of upped its act. And actually I had a really good medical experience there a few years ago. It was Christmas. It was Christmas Eve, the evening of Christmas Eve. And we were staying in a village way up in the mountains, long way north of Malaga, and miles from, oh, I don't want another blue one, miles from anywhere. And I was getting the dinner ready, and I was not being careful, and I managed to, using an unfamiliar knife, because we were in a cottage, and I managed to cut my finger really badly. My little finger on my left hand, I almost severed the top of it. I went almost all the way through, and it was a very bad cut on a very small finger. And of course, if it hadn't have been saved, then I would have not been in any way hindered by it. I would have still carried on doing what I do because it was my left hand. And yeah, it was just the tip of the little finger, so it wouldn't have mattered. But I rushed round to the lady whose cottage we were staying in, and I told her what I'd done, and she said, oh, don't worry, we'll go to the doctor. Now, we're in a village of, I don't know, a few, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people, and so I'm going to paint the cactuses or whatever this is going to be now. Anyway, so we got in her car and we drove a couple of miles down some windy lanes in the mountains. Lanes, I don't know, tracks, roads, very single lane, difficult to manage, but we did it. And in the village, which we didn't know at all, and thanks to her, we were lucky that we were able to do this. within 10 minutes of me getting in the car, so let's say within 20 minutes of me cutting myself, we were sitting in the waiting room in a clinic. This was Christmas Eve at 8 o'clock at night, and waiting to be seen. And somebody saw me instantly. I had my finger stitched, and they didn't put me to sleep. They just did it with me sitting there, gritting my teeth and thinking how lucky I was. And so in half an hour from the event having happened, and in half an hour I was fixed up, and that there is no scar there. It healed perfectly. There was no pain. It was fantastic. And that in a place up in the mountains, so that if an emergency occurs, they send in a helicopter. In fact, I think they actually keep one there. I can't speak too highly of both my neighbour who took me there and the people who dealt with me. They were so nice, and it was so clean and amazingly just brilliant, really. Just brilliant. I was very impressed, very, very relieved. I didn't lose the top of my finger. You can see what I'm doing, can't you? I don't need to tell you. You don't need to be told what I'm doing here. I'm putting paint on paper. And I'm just mixing my colours more or less muddily here, just to see what I can get. Oh, that's an interesting colour. Not quite sure what kind of plant this is. It's turned into a bit of a cactus, hasn't it? Okay. Let me see, what should we do on the next one? Here, let's do this one. A nice dark green. Let us put a big dark green blob up there, and we'll bring that down here. And then I'm going to put nice big round. I'm going to do some embellishments over the top of these. I'm going to put a little bit more black green here. Yeah. And on the orange one, let's see, what should we do? I think really dark green would probably be the way to go. So I'm just mixing black in with sap green. And let's do one out here like this. One up here in the middle. Maybe one over here. Yeah, I just wanted to say something else as well about talking about Portugal, because I've heard of a lot of people going to live there recently. And the other thing about Portugal, which puts me off going there, I've never been there, and I don't mind admitting that. So I'm only speaking from what I've heard, but I do know, because I have an interest in languages, I do know that Portuguese is a very difficult language, and that many people struggle to learn it, including Colin Firth in Love Actually, if you've seen that film, which I'm sure you have. you're anything like me, you've seen it multiple times, because a lot of people had a soft spot for Colin Firth. Right, so that's all of our wonderful plants, and I need to decorate their pots now. So let's go for yellow on the purple. I need a bit more water. Make it a bit stronger orange. Yeah, that's nice. And on this purple one, I think we'll go for black. There we are, that's nice. And on this blue one, I think we obviously need to go for a darker shade of blue. So I'll add some black to that blue. Sort of charcoal blue colour. Let's see what we can do with that. There we are. And on the green one, what shall we put on the green one? What about purple on there? I feel like doing some dots, circles. That's good. And then we have our orange one. I'll put orange on that. I think it's got to be, what's it got to be? Got to be green, maybe? Sap green mixed with blue, perhaps. Sort of dark green. Kind of oily green. No, because the leaves are green. No, we don't want to do that. Well, how about sap green? That one's got sap green. I think it might need to be blue. There we are. And the last thing I want to do, I'm going to pick up some contrasty colour and just put some identifiers up here. To prove that this is a cactus. Okay, and then maybe we'll just put some dark lines on here. Try not to smudge anything. Now, when you've watched this, I want you to tell me what I did in this painting, or how I did this painting that was different from the way I normally paint. What is it about this painting that is different from my usual efforts? I'll see whether anyone can tell what it is that I did. I'm not going to give you any clues. So if you have an idea, put it in the description below. And I'm going to call that done. And if I can find a pencil, I shall write. Get that dot off there, what I made. Pot plants. And it's day number 12. So there we are. If you're interested in possibly joining in with our challenge, you may anytime you like, just join. Next month we'll be doing the Doodle Wash challenge, so that will be interesting, and we'll have our own list of prompts. So if you have any ideas for prompts that you would like for next month, why don't you pop them in the comments below, and we will add them to our list of special Diane Antone Studio prompts for Doodle Wash. And don't forget, the shop is now open. That's Charlie O'Shields' shop is open, and we have a custom mug and pouch with a special design that you won't see anywhere else, because I did it especially for him, that you can purchase to support his International Art for Children Foundation, which is a very laudable charity. We don't make any money out of it, and nor does he. It all goes to charity. So that's all about that, and I will let you go, and I will see you again soon. So I'll say bye-bye for now, and I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. And don't forget, what did I do that was different? Tell me in the comments below. Bye now, everybody. Bye-bye.